Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Rendezvous Podcast. It's been a while. It's been a while, boys. How are we doing? How are we doing? Yeah. How are you guys? How's it going in the Bangovich and Bodok camp?
I think Bangovich will probably start off, or should I start off?
I mean, you probably are. I don't know. Something happened
Both of you are
again.
like
I mean, we
so
haven't.
tired.
I mean,
Yeah.
like last week, a bunch of shit happened for me. So it's 07 for who cares?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Bye.
that's actually sad, man. 07. Actually
It's
sad.
it's an unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. Fuck visas. And yeah, I mean, nothing else I could do about it. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
No
but
more
actually,
playoffs for us.
that's
That's how it
actually
goes sometimes.
actually a big bummer.
Unfortunately.
Team been
Mm.
performing great lately, so it's a big bummer.
And we were supposed to get Bukashu in, so it's just like, it would have been such a good roster.
It would have been.
But
It's sad,
it
but
is
still,
what it is.
we are happy that it did happen. In fact, because it's been a great time. And from my side, I'm just sick. I got a cold now. It's so funny how the body works. You know, like the last 8 days of playoffs were like crazy, and I was like, I think I might get sick. And then like the first day the playoffs are over, I get sick. It was like my body was just like, I'm not gonna let the cold out before the stress is over, and boom, here I am. So if I sound a bit weird, guys, it's the cold.
No, you sound great. You sound great. Ready
Nice.
for the podcast.
Let's
Yeah, it's
fucking
been
go.
Exactly.
it's been a while. We've had lots of scheduling things, and obviously VCT's been busy. Bangovich.
Also,
working for Liquid.
we definitely weren't using some time on playing the new Tears of the Kingdom. Not at all.
I mean,
No,
honestly, we
no,
did
I
play,
understand.
but that wasn't the reason the podcast
Yeah.
was
It wasn't, it
rescheduled.
wasn't.
It was literally
Mm.
playoffs.
Yeah, everything was a bit go for these two. Not for me. I'm just
I mean,
a YouTuber. I mean, to be fair, I went there, so yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get it started.
Oh boy.
And the first thing on the list today is that they have finally changed Pearl.
hell yeah.
Woo! Oh
which
my
is
God.
which is what everybody's been asking for the past, I don't know, probably month, 2 months. It just got to the point where it's a complete spam fest, but they've changed a few of these things. So the first thing is this box on B long, which has gone from the thing where you could kind of walk up it and the headshot angle, and now you have to jump up, so it makes it more difficult to spam from behind that cover. And then the B screens, it's no longer just one box. You can also jump up that, and you can kind of see over the smokes if you
There's an
jump on that
additional
as well.
one as well.
Yeah,
I believe
there
it's
is.
over at what do you call it, elbow or
in backside, yeah. It might be that.
you
that
can't
thing
even
between.
call it elbow. It doesn't look like an elbow. Never, don't mind me.
Yes, they've added another
Wait,
corner here, which is going to
why?
make it. It is going to make it more difficult to plant if somebody's playing
Yeah.
back there. Really, these changes, they don't affect necessarily the whole spam thing, but they do affect how difficult the site is to take. So, Bangovich, what are you thinking about these changes? Oh, and they did they shorten that, narrow that?
Yeah, I don't know. They
no,
narrowed it,
was
but
it? No, they increased it, wasn't it?
yeah, it's bigger now. But
Yeah, it's bigger now.
They
okay.
widened it.
Yeah.
I wonder what this
I
will
think
change.
I think it's more about like because like if you stood behind that, you could still be easily spotted, so it would be better protection. So you can actually stand like
Oh,
on your-
underneath. Okay, I see.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's less about like the top platform, more about
Yeah.
the actual
I also
bottom
think it
pillar.
might be useful for like smokes. When you play smokes, so like
Yeah,
other
that
team
makes
has
sense.
a little bit more
Yeah.
room to like play up there.
That makes sense.
How are you feeling
Um,
about these changes, Bangovich?
Yeah, if I look at the long changes, I really like the long changes because first of all, we get rid of one of the corners there. If you see in the back behind the screen thingy, the box, they took away the depth of it as well. So there is one less corner to camp
yeah.
for
Oh, no.
people on long, which is great. I think it's actually great because you're way more exposed now if you want to play for post plans.
It's
Because
not
that
great for me.
are you a lineup Larry? Are you just abusing those corners and hide?
No, not at all. That's where I usually camp in deathmatch.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Oh
It's
my
you.
god.
It's you and my death matches.
Yeah,
that
actually.
camps everywhere.
I just sit there with an operator, just preparing.
Oh, with the op.
Oh,
Oh.
it's getting even worse. But
I've got to teach these kids to not peek any long sights. All right. I got to
That's
teach
No.
them in deathmatch. Okay, I'm thinking
Oh my
smart. I am teaching the next generation.
that's
But
not smart.
I didn't even see that long change in that corner. I think that is
Yeah.
that also helps it, doesn't it?
Definitely, like for the post-planned lineup, Larry meta, I think it's gonna change actually quite a lot. It will make it, way more interesting to fight for that post-planned. On the other hand, though, I think the changes on the box actually enable a lot of different scenarios for defender to actually hold on to B side. First of all, the screens is moved a bit more to the front, and I think it goes a bit more into the side, which means I think a Sage wall should be pretty effective to cover that choke. As well as there are literally like 2 boxes, so every agent is now able to jump on the screen and can play operator, can play a levitated angle, or even like just sit on the box to catch an opponent off guard. It will be a bit pain in the ass to clear those areas, but then on the other hand, I feel taking B side either came down to an AWP or a Marshal to one tap you, and if you didn't hit the shots, they just went for the plant anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not
It would
sure
also
though.
be-
Yeah.
It would also be easier for like race satchels to
Mhm.
get up there.
Mm.
Yep.
I feel like when you're trying to clear that angle, because they could be sat in front of
Yeah.
either of the three. There's 3 angles on the bottom that they could sit on, then on top of the middle box, and then on top of the top box. You probably would see your head crouched if you were on long, on top of
Yeah.
the top box, but still, that's a lot of angles you need to kind of clear, or at least be ready to clear. So yeah, taking it, I think it is going to be more difficult. I wonder if it doesn't look like an Omen smoke one Omen smoke would cover that
A little bit,
that
you would
gap,
say.
but I think an Astra smoke probably would, and a Viper orb.
Yeah. Makes
So-
more agents viable on long, actually, because before
Yeah.
that you would have 2 Astra Stars placed on long, or a Viper like the wall, if even, and because a single smoke would never do.
Otherwise, you have to play like just a bunch of Harbor. I actually feel like Harbor might be picked way more now,
Yeah, it does look
especially
like it.
with the nerfs for Viper as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Looks very interesting. I
And
don't know how I
also-
feel. Oh, no, go on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
like also it's a way better place now to actually play operator on defense with. You actually have some different like heights where you can like set up and easily
Yeah.
escape.
And you can peek both
compared
sides
to-
of halls as well.
Yeah,
There's not-
exactly.
you're gonna have to be very careful of that.
Yeah.
Which I think could make Astra and Omen, etc., better for covering halls, because Harbor,
Yeah.
if you're playing solo Harbor, it's difficult to try and block that halls angle off if you're at the top of B long. I guess you can use a cascade, try and scale up, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're good changes. There people were asking for it. They did it. That's what Riot do.
Actually true.
True.
I like
Yeah,
it in general.
respect.
I think the main takeaway for me is like the post plant should be more on site rather than on long. I think that's the idea. Go away from the shoot stuff, some mollies and stuff, more to like fight on the space. I like it.
Cool. All right. Now let's get into the actual games that have taken place since we last did an episode. Was the last episode completely before playoffs? I think it might have been, right?
Yeah, I believe it was.
So that's what we're going to do today, is go over the playoffs.
Hell
We're going
yeah.
to start with Americas. It's going to be very short, don't worry. Then we're going to move to EMEA, and we'll kind of talk about our experience going there, because both me and Bangovic were there.
Finally, my wish has been fulfilled. Less Americas.
And of course, we're going to give you that Pacific content that you have
Hell
been
yeah.
yearning for, which should be really fun. But first of all, let's talk about Americas, just going quickly over the kind of games and stuff. And one team made it to Tokyo that we were not expecting.
Oh yeah.
Shall we? Where do you want to start? Do you want to go top to bottom or bottom to top?
I mean, let's go bottom to
mean-
top. I feel right. What do you feel, Bo?
Yeah. Let's start off with the big one. EG.
Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna go bottom.
Yeah,
to
I
top.
thought we were gonna go
Start
with
Furia.
top to bottom. Okay, that way. Okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
we gotta rush this shit. So okay.
Yeah, I mean, no-
To be honest, Furia just looked they looked alright, but not like contenders level. It was just like they fell off in some rounds.
I never believed they were going to qualify. There were so many games in the regular season as
Yeah.
well that were so close, and they just couldn't close it out. And it gets to the point where you start to think like they're not going to be able to
It's a
close this
momentum
out when
thing.
it matters.
Yeah.
So, and NRG were just too good, really, in that low bracket game.
yeah.
True.
I
And
think
Loud. I mean, just never lose to Brazilian teams.
I
So
think Fury is such a good team in a way that like they're competitive against any other team. Honestly, I would kind of like compare them to Vitality and EMEA. They're good enough to challenge the top, but it's not enough to
Yeah.
win those matches. And then if you're
Yeah.
not winning those, you won't make it.
what's the point?
Yeah, so they sadly fell short in the playoffs, even though they showed good Valorant. I don't think, except the Loud series, I think they got pretty. Yeah, that was. Let me
I think
let me
that-
go.
I mean,
that's a mental thing, isn't it?
Furia
Where they just-
basically performed the way that I expected them to perform.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
Yeah.
and the other one is a bit more disappointing. I'll be honest.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I agree.
Leviathan. Oh man, I
w-
just like.
I didn't have room to be disappointed. I was already disappointed with them from the regular season. Like,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just they look completely flat in every game. I mean, like, did they take a map off Cloud9? They did, right?
I
Yes.
believe so, yeah.
They took Lotus.
Yeah, they took a map.
And then they
just
got
get doomed
13-4 on
They
Ascent.
just can't close out the match. It's
But like they just get red so easily. They look like they're not playing with the freedom that they did last year. I mean,
King,
the,
though.
the thing with Leviathan, they were so good at those situations, those scrappy situations where it seemed like they could just pull out rounds out of the bag. Right,
think-
even
Yeah.
at Locking it was like that. But now
Yeah.
they just don't have that freedom at all when they play. You watch them, it's just so predictable.
I think something that happened is basically people have realized that Leviathan uses too much of like their initial prep and keep reusing it. That
Mhm.
like it kind of made it easier for teams to like anti-strat them.
Yeah. And I
Also,
think
kind
that's why
of-
they got worse over the course of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Oh.
like I believe it were Thinking Mans who noted it. Like a lot of their pistol rounds were almost the same.
yeah, that's the
at
thing.
same time.
I just wanted to jump on the pistol round thing that Leviathan's strength in the past in all the tournaments where they had deep runs was to win almost every pistol round in every map.
Yep.
So they had
yes.
four rounds on the get-go, and they still had close series which they won because they won the pistol. Now that they were missing that element of winning those pistol rounds, literally they were missing 4 rounds each time. And if we look at this match in particular, they could have won Haven with 4 more rounds. They won Lotus, but also they won the pistol rounds. And on Ascent, I mean, okay, Ascent, they would have lost it either way, but it would have been a closer series. I do think that actually one of their strength is now missing, the strength of pistol rounds. And just overall, I do agree with the sentiment that they are just looking flat. I don't know. They're missing something. I don't know what it is. I hope they can find the groove because the
I
talent
mean,
on
like
this...
everybody's missing something, that's for sure. Except Paper
Except
X.
Paper X,
Oh
yeah.
god.
Pacific reference. There we go.
Yeah,
I think okay. Something that I would like to see from Leviathan is perhaps maybe getting an assistant coach. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
They did
Maybe
have one,
somebody
didn't
who
they?
could. Yeah,
But
they did have one, but I don't remember what happened with him. Wait,
Yeah, I think
don't know.
that could help them a lot.
Yeah, I
think
feel like there's
someone who could
their
just help
strength,
out
like you were
with
saying, the pistol
strategies.
rounds, the bonus rounds as well.
Yes.
They always had some kind of interesting strat cooked up for that.
Yeah.
But then just didn't seem to happen this time, and in the regular season as well. I wasn't expecting
Yeah,
them to win
Bethany
any games here, and
used
they
to be
didn't. So
their assistant coach.
right.
But that's
Um,
also very
but yeah.
short-lived.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next team that missed out, the only other team that missed out on Tokyo from these playoffs, Cloud9. They did not live up to the hype built in the regular season.
I mean,
Let's start with their first match against EG.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe,
I mean, we come back to this match later, I guess. Let's go to the energy one,
Yeah.
right?
they almost won it, right? The last map, 14-12 to NRG. I don't think NRG were playing their best Valorant either, in that match, but I don't know. I think it was a mixture of the new guys not dealing with the pressure super well. And also, I don't know, Leaf hadn't, in the regular season, I mean, he was just destroying teams pretty much single-handedly. You could just count on him to get 3 or 4 in some rounds and just win them by himself. But the magic, it just wasn't there in this run. I mean, I wasn't expecting to even lose a map against Leviathan, even after they got kind of bonked by UG. So, yeah, what are we thinking about C9? Do we think they can bounce back for LCQ?
I'll be honest. C9 just felt like they just needed to get used to playoffs. It was just too much pressure for the new players compared to the regular season because now it's actually okay. Now we either win or we're out. I think there's just like too much pressure for the players to start off. So,
Yeah.
but the good part about this is now they have basically learned from that.
Yeah. I do
I
agree
can
with that.
definitely. I think one of, I think a bigger red flag is the fact that Jakey now has like changed up his entire peripherals. That's he talked about it on his Twitter, so it's gonna be interesting to
Okay.
see how he
Funny.
performs.
No,
Okay.
he's gonna be ready to play in LCQ. That's like
Yeah.
still like I don't know
Yeah.
6 weeks ahead, 6 weeks I think until
Yeah.
they play LCQ. For me, honestly, I
And-
do agree with the playoff part that they probably weren't ready for playoffs, which is just honestly a different format. Like you don't play one game a week, you play 3, 4, 5, however matches it is, day to like back to back to back, maximum 1 day of break. And I think especially MCE is this type of coach who's really like thriving in an environment where he can prep. Like this is the same what we've seen with the guard, right? If he can prep,
Yep.
you have a bad time.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because if they'd have won those 2 rounds at the end of Lotus instead of not Lotus, sorry, Haven, instead of NRG, we would be having a completely different conversation right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But even with that fact, I don't think that they are on the same level as NRG, even though that match was
No.
close. Maybe at their peak in the regular season, but in the playoffs, I think NRG just have that level of experience where I think they were always going to win that game.
Yeah.
I think we're all on the same page that we think they are still the favorites for LCQ.
Yeah.
I don't think any team has shown enough in these playoffs or anything like that to surpass them. But
Also, I do not
I think maybe
Yeah, you can go on for.
the only 2 dark horses that I can see right now is most likely between Sentinels and 100 Thieves.
yeah,
I mean,
Because Sentinels
yeah.
now actually stability.
I think if Furia work out how to close out matches, they've got a shot as well.
Yeah.
But
that seems like a
there's-
bigger problem to solve
we'll talk about
compared
LCQ.
to like, other teams.
We'll talk about LCQ more in a bit, but I think the format is actually like a gauntlet style thing, where
Oh.
the lowest 2 teams play. The winner of that plays the next seed up. Then the winner of that plays the next seed up. Then the winner of that
Really?
plays the next seed up. That is what the GE CEO apparently said on Discord. And considering there's 7 teams in the tournament, that would make sense. Which means that
I mean, yeah, that actually makes sense.
Cloud9 would only have to win 1 game to make it as champions.
No shot.
Whereas Crew would
Okay.
have to win all 7.
Okay, honestly, I do hope that this is
I'm not a
kinda like
betting man, but that suddenly changed.
I really hope that this is not the case for LCQ.
Which means
Yeah,
the first match would be what, Crew versus MIBR? Would it
I
be?
guess.
And then, yeah.
I
so,
mean, that sounds wild, honestly. That's actually wild.
which is, it definitely favors the teams that did really well in the regular season, which makes sense. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting if that is the case, and if we see a team win all of their games from the start, it would be an incredible, run. I don't know if that's confirmed. That's just what I saw on the doldrums somewhere. But
Don't worry,
That is
Riot,
actually crazy.
We do not know insider details, okay? We're not the ones leaking that.
yeah,
No, it was some like Command literally said it was on
Exactly.
the Discord.
I don't know. I have no idea if that's true, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting. But
Definitely.
C9, I think if it is that format, are definitely the favorites.
Nevertheless, I would still favor them. I do feel like with enough prac, they are getting even more dangerous and they will have a fair shot at this. For me, probably I would include Furia in that favorite position and maybe Sentinels. Honestly, I'm kind of lost in the sauce with 100 Thieves. I don't believe anymore. I do think
I
they
think-
can they can do
think
good, but they
If
won't
100
qualify.
Thieves can get like a solid like coaching staff that can help out Mike's, that they'd improve.
I
Yeah,
Also,
agree,
they
but
also have
to-
some time. They also have some time to like
Yeah.
just take it slow. I guess maybe the players are a little bit stressed out, and
feel like they
just
have to do
take
it
a little
now,
bit of a
though.
break.
I feel like they have to sign a coach now. Like
I mean,
Bangovic said, it's 6
hasn't
weeks.
Yeah.
yeah? I mean, like hasn't I believe Wyatt talked about it. Like Mike's basically has like a bunch of freelance coaches who help him out or something like
Right.
that.
Okay.
So
I mean,
if they can get like 2 people full time, that would be
That would be best
already
case
pretty
scenario, I
good.
think.
That would be
Yeah.
best case. But yeah, speaking of Cloud9, I do think even like just on the playoffs performance, I do think they still didn't underperform or anything. I still think like they had decent showings. The EG
Oh yeah,
match,
definitely.
I will not include the EG match in that, but I do think that generally C9 can be very proud with their season, finishing off in the top 4 of Americas with a brand new roster, like with 2 new players. I think
Yeah.
honestly that's a big dub for Cloud9. I would take that any day. Like if you
Yeah.
ask me if I would take 4th place, considering everything in the off season, I was like, damn, no shot. We literally ranked them 10th, and they're
Yeah.
4th best. So I don't know. That's a dub in my books.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. But an even bigger dub, I think,
Oh,
is
yeah.
Evil Geniuses. These guys probably seen as
What the
probably
fuck is
seen as
happening?
the worst team coming into the Americas League, or one of, and they've turned it around. They've qualified to Masters Tokyo with 2 wins and 2 losses, but against the 2 best teams in the league, so it's not a huge deal. They took down NRG in the first round in an upset and completely demolished Cloud9 to qualify for Tokyo.
Yep.
I mean, it was an insane run.
I think
Yeah, go on.
I think it's just unfortunate that like this run. I'm not sure if the team is going to perform at Tokyo,
Yeah.
Yep.
especially with the situation with Demon One.
Yeah.
Which is
If anyone's not
unfortunate.
aware, Demon One does not have, is it a visa or a passport? I'm not sure. He
I
can't go to
believe he
Tokyo.
doesn't have a passport. Yeah.
He
believe
can't go
so.
to Tokyo. So Demon One, who's arguably been, not arguably, he's been their best player since he came in, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
But
in
I
the
also think the
playoffs,
support that the rest of the team gave was
excellent.
truly like I actually feel like they kind of reminded me of like Optic giving support to Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, honestly,
but
like,
we'll have to
wow.
see what happens when you take Yay out.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I know it's not supposed. I think they confirmed on the America's desk that Reformed has been playing in scrims, the Jet, with the team.
Which
so
is
he-
just I can't see the team performing with Reformed on Jet. Like he has to really perform well for me to be shocked.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
when was
honestly,
the
I
last time
think
we
it's
saw-
gonna be so difficult for them in Tokyo, considering like they're in a group with DRX. We're gonna talk about it later. Footy Sports and like getting like not playing with literally the best player of your team for an international stage. Also, I do think like for most of those players, it will be the first time having the full pressure from an international tournament. I mean, of course, lock in, they played it, but then on the other hand, I wouldn't compare lock-in to a Masters event in terms of pressure, especially not in the first matches.
I'm actually kind of confused. Why is Reformed playing the Jet when he hasn't played it nearly at all
I think
during
it's
his
because
ranked
the
history?
6 players that they had, that they got visas for Tokyo, were the starting 5 that they had with BCJ in.
Yeah, but then
and
you put
Reformed.
like Jajimo on Jet instead.
I guess they don't want to change the current structure that
Yeah.
they've got going on right now.
I guess.
If they did, then they'd probably put BCJ back in. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can see Jajimo being on the Jet and Reform playing something like Phoenix or Rays or that kind of stuff.
Phoenix,
I mean,
who knows?
some
Honestly, who
teams are
knows?
cooking. All I'm saying, some teams are
Hmm.
cooking.
I mean, yeah, maybe perhaps, but I agree with the fact that they probably do not want to change it that much. They just want a one by one replacement, a sub for this occasion, which is a bummer, honestly, because I
It's
think
also
a
a
full.
bummer that Screwface isn't playing. That's
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I imagine it's the same thing. Probably doesn't have a visa.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, could be. It's unfortunate. I wanted to see Screwface play.
Especially like you have to consider like the visas for Tokyo like they needed to be applied like a month ago, and back then they had another starting 5 and a heads up, so they probably did already consider that they have like a 6th man, and then like I mean, and I guess that's the downside of a 10-man roster, right? I guess that you can't like apply visas for all the players, especially if you're like on the verge of not making it even to playoffs, because it wasn't even a thing that like I mean, EG might as well didn't even make playoffs, and then you have like visas for 10 players. So yeah, it's an unfortunate. It's just unfortunate generally for Evil Genius.
So basically, back to the same topic. Fuck visas.
Indeed.
That's my only.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Like, okay, basically, Valorant competitive has been ruined by visas. Let's take it as simple as possible.
It's tough,
I
isn't
don't
it?
I don't believe it being this big of an issue in other scenes. That's my kind of grip of it. Like
I'm not sure.
don't really have it that prevalent.
Hmm. Honestly, I don't know. I do not know.
Strange.
But we do
you
have
know.
to commend them for this
Yeah.
playoff run.
I
Yeah.
agree.
And also, very quickly before we move on, I just want to give a shout out to Com. This guy, people were doubting him, saying he was probably
Yeah.
the worst player in franchising at the start of the season, and he's turned up.
Like
His
people
utility on
did?
Sova, yeah, people were saying, why is he still there?
Oh, what is
Um,
this, man?
I know, and he's turned up. His Sova
Yeah.
util was insanely good across all the series. Yeah, and they did lose this lower final to NRG, but they got a map. Fair enough to them.
Yeah.
And speaking of NRG, we can mention them. I mean, they did their classic lower bracket run, didn't they?
Yeah, they did it. They actually did. Well, they made a
and they
full
looked-
lower
they
bracket
looked-
run.
They look good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they looked like Optic levels, but Optic never won a domestic trophy. So fair enough. Ardis stepped up in the playoffs, I thought, really well. And yeah, they looked decent,
Yeah.
compared to what we've come to expect from this core, they look decent. Obviously, they looked really good in terms of the whole league. Finished second with this 0-3 loss to Lao in the grand finals. But yeah, they're going to qualify to Tokyo. They'll probably do well. They've
Yeah.
got that experience. We know what they're like.
I gotta give
And-
it though to
If I have to
Lab.
real quick,
Yeah.
like speaking of like the worst performing player, I mean, why add Com in that? That's kind of my grip with the community as of recently. They just call out a random player because he didn't perform in one match.
Yeah.
I'd actually
Oh,
say
no, that was
like,
like before the season started in the off season.
oh
were
yeah,
saying-
okay,
People were
yeah,
saying you
okay.
should be getting like, I don't know, Trent
Yeah.
or
because
whoever.
holy shit, he fell off massively. Probably the worst performing duelist at the moment, which is really unfortunate
that, sorry?
because Heat from
Oh,
MIBR.
well, yeah. I mean, he left, didn't he?
Yeah.
Left MIBR. Yeah.
So-
But the team who did win, who took it over NRG,
It's
Loud.
loud. I mean, honestly.
Almost!
Almost.
I was super supporting Loud in this series. I love the players. I love the team. I love the vibes that they're giving off. They're playing, like Sadak said in that interview. I don't know if any of you guys watched it.
By the way, guys,
the match.
I couldn't help but notice, but we talked about Americas being very short and everything, and
I
It's
mean,
all
it's
good,
50
it's all good,
minutes.
it's all
It's
good.
50 minutes in
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
I'm
That's-
just saying. I'm just saying. It's kind of
Nah,
We get it,
15
we get it, we
minutes?
get it.
I mean, that's actually short.
loud, good, very good. Okay, anyways, go.
Loud are good. Just
Like
very
it.
quickly, Sadak was talking
Oh.
about how they're playing to have fun, which I think is the most
I
important thing.
might need to add something. Efrod is probably one of the best coaches right now. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out
I
there.
don't know. I don't know. I'll wait and see until I will give my opinion on that after Tokyo.
I think it's just the way that that team creates new metas out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
I agree, but on the other hand, if a team can play that cuckoo comms and individually like make everything work, I wonder
Yeah.
how much is it the coach and how much is it the talent on the roster.
Also,
They
Sadak
could
said
just-
that,
Yeah, sorry.
just very quickly because I know we're speedrunning Americas.
Yeah.
Sadak said that Les was IGLing some of these rounds and picking up a lot of the mid rounding, which is just insane considering the performance he's putting up as well
Yeah,
in all of these games. So if he becomes an IGL and can keep up this performance, yeah, he's
Yep.
insanely good.
Yeah, definitely.
that is insane.
But yeah, Loud good. They
Yeah.
won.
Not good.
We were kind of all
NRG good.
expecting it. I think Loud are
EG,
probably the
Question mark.
favorites.
Good.
I think Loud are the favorites for Tokyo at this point. Maybe
Yeah, one of the
maybe
favorites.
Fnatic just, but anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. America's done. Speedrun, kind of. Let's go on to EMEA. EMEA.
Hell yeah. Do we just jump right into the
Oh,
into the playoffs, or do we show some photos first, like from our
Maybe let's
experience?
it's
talk
photo
about-
time. It's
Yeah,
experience
maybe let's talk
time.
about the experience and stuff of it
Yeah.
first.
I can just relax here. I could just listen to you guys. Just
Let's
right
go.
here.
Yeah, for the viewers, for the
Alright.
listeners.
Tell me
Yeah.
tell me about it. How
Yeah.
was Berlin?
Yeah, so this is a picture of me with the foot team, but it was an incredible experience. I went there for 3 days of the playoffs, so not the first day, but the 3 days after that, and it was insanely good. So I think the first match we watched was Fnatic versus Foot, which obviously was like a stomp, but that was a great game. And then, I mean, they were all great games. The second day, especially when it was Navi versus Giants and Foot
Oh, yeah.
versus Vitality to qualify for Tokyo, it was amazing. I was supporting Navi and Foot, and it's great to be in that kind of community, and everybody knows about Valorant, and
Yeah.
you meet some really great people and all that kind of thing. You can see some photos of the venue here. It's so well produced. And they've got some, really cool displays and merch stores, and they're giving out free merch. The Fnatic
Free
team were,
merch.
yeah, and they give out. Let me grab one of the.
I have suddenly plans.
They gave out. They give you one of these bags every day that you're there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's really cool. They got stickers and stuff in there, like loads of stuff in there, which is really cool. Fnatic were giving out. I got that jacket that I'm wearing in that photo there. Was free from the Fnatic team for making a sign, which is just insanely cool.
That's actually insanely cool.
Wait,
Yeah.
I actually, it's actually pretty normal now for Fnatic to give out jackets. I thought it was something that they only did over at Masters Copenhagen, because we got that
He's
one.
salty now. He's salty.
I'm salty now. Oh man.
But you're close to the players while you're sat there, and then whoever wins, they do a kind of meet and greet thing, which is where you can get these photos, you can get stuff signed, which is just a really cool experience.
Secretly slipping in the global esports jersey.
Of course. But yeah, the production of it is insane.
Yeah, it is.
And obviously, I know there's been tech pauses, whatever, but it was fine when we were actually there. We got pizza and stuff, which was really cool.
I think something that people forget is like EMEA is very focused on like creating a good experience for the people at the event.
And
that's something that I at least see.
It seriously is a great experience, and the tickets are like like €15 or something, and the amount of free stuff I got, like it made up more than that, like the value. So yeah, it was incredibly good experience, and if you can go, there's the pizza that we all got. If you can go,
what's on that pizza?
That was a salad pizza. So it's got like spinach and tomatoes on it and cheese and stuff.
I mean, that looks good. That looks good.
If you can go to an event, go. It is definitely worth your time, and yeah. But
would you say like
there,
from
so much?
Would you say that like from the experience that you had there, it's probably the best feeling LAN? Or
what do you mean, like?
Yeah, I mean, like when you look at the other events, like for example, over at Americas, like I don't think Americas looks like it's that much fun to be a fan there.
I think a lot of the fun at LANs kind of comes from supporting your team. I think that was one of the most fun things. And Americas, everyone's kind of together, aren't they? So I feel like if you're supporting one team, there's not really any designated place you should sit. But in EMEA, because you're behind the players you're supporting, you really feel like you're kind of pushing them, especially in that Navi game. On the broadcast, they were showing us like shouting and stuff, and it was just great. And you felt like you were really impacting it, which is really cool.
Yeah, that definitely is the point. Like if you're in the venue, like it's like a circle, right? And like you have in the middle like the casters, then you have like one, like I would say neutral like stand where just all the fans are, and then like one is like the fan block for one team and the other, and you sit opposite of each other, and you really like at a certain point you just give it to they just give it to each other, like they just fight, like literally the fans are fighting and shouting at each other, and it gives such a nice atmosphere, like, and you literally hear like, for example, when we play Fnatic, I remember like they say like, let's go Fnatic, and then some people be like, no, we don't want to hear the Fnatic, so they just shouted Liquid whenever they said Fnatic, like, and this atmosphere, this is something you cannot have in Americas, just because they sit all on the same row, basically. So I do feel
like, let's go Navi, and then instead of and then the other side would be
you basically have a little bit of a competition yourself as well.
Yeah, it's so
one
cool.
team versus the other.
Yeah, and you don't have to support a team like Bangovich said. There's a middle stand opposite the casters where you can.
I already saw that. It was pretty crazy there. So
it is getting heated up there, like honestly, and the atmosphere is just it's a vibe. It's honestly a vibe, and you can also like just, I mean, it's a friendly competition and no one's hating each other. Everyone, like, honestly, like people are just giving it to each other, but they still like all are so chill. It's
Yeah,
like
there's no booing or anything. They
Yeah.
like encourage you to be
Okay,
sportsmanlike,
so it isn't
which
like
is cool.
Masters Copenhagen.
yeah, probably.
I mean, I
Masters
wasn't there,
Copenhagen.
but I imagine.
I mean that there were some people who said some very specific stuff.
Yeah.
The worst I heard
Um,
was somebody chanted, "We can't hear you," after Giants lost like 5 rounds in a row, and they stopped like shouting, and it was so funny.
That is funny.
But
Oh,
yeah.
but
man.
yeah, incredible experience. Definitely go if you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna show some of my photos later at the point, but because right now that would spoil a little bit. One thing I want to show, I was like, for those of you who don't know, I work for Liquid. I do like the on-site coverage of the
way.
team, and yeah, some people might not know. And I took that one photo from the traitor. I was on
so
stage,
traitor.
and he was literally
was,
the traitor.
Fnatic vs Liquid. I got caught in
Upper
4K.
final, yeah.
Yeah.
But then you said you're gonna support Liquid for the grand final, and I don't want to spoil it, but you took the right side.
What can I say? Maybe I'm just you know, I'm the lucky charm for all these teams.
Maybe you are, yeah, maybe you are.
But
But
I'll
yeah,
have to go to LA and support Sentinels every match. No, I'm joking.
maybe I can show this picture, and this is like a good, how would we say
Wow.
it? Like this nice, right? I got this also nice, right?
Big trophy.
You see what is the thing in the front, the blurry thing? That's
Is it Natsis Panda?
yes, it's actually
That's
great.
jokes.
Yeah, but yeah, I think this is a good good photo to go to the playoffs and talk about the playoffs of EMEA. All right, let me open it up.
I think out of all the regions, this may have been the most. I was gonna say the most competitive. I don't know if it really was. I think it was competitive at the top, definitely.
Mm,
At the bottom, maybe not so much. But
I wager Pacific was more interesting, but I think
Hmm.
it's more about you guys having been there, so you guys
Yeah.
have had like a different perspective than like the people who
Yeah,
were
very
watching
true.
at
probably.
home.
very
Like,
That's
for
true.
example,
true.
me.
So 4 teams were set to go to Masters Tokyo from these playoffs, which is quite a lot actually. Out of 6, 4 out of 6. I mean, you know, that's only 2 teams going home, and those teams were Giants and Vitality, who both went 0-2. I don't think they. I think the 4 teams who made it through were the 4 best teams across
Yeah.
the whole season.
Yep.
So
I
I
agree.
think that's fair enough. And
Yeah.
I think they showed that in the 2 lower bracket games there. But
Mhm.
really, the interesting games for me were the lower round 2 and the grand final, which is Na'Vi versus Foot, which Foot won 2-0, and the grand final, which finally Fnatic lost. But let's start with the lower round 2. This Na'Vi versus Foot game.
Yeah.
I was in the crowd for this. Really good atmosphere before the game. But as it went on, Foot, they just look at that 10-2 first half. I mean,
That's
it
crazy.
was getting difficult to cheer for Na'Vi in that first half there.
Yeah.
Kiwi was back on form, which he hadn't necessarily been in the
Yeah.
previous games, even though Foot brought them over the line. So my question is, with this game, will Na'Vi perform better than Foot at Tokyo, even though they lost this game?
Yes.
Why?
I'm gonna be honest. Knowing Navi, they don't really take like the regular season that serious. Even playoffs. If they secured something, that's good. They could prepare for like the big tournament. Like they always think 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
So to me, it kind of feels like this is just okay, we made it. Let's prepare for Masters Tokyo, so we are well prepared because there isn't that much time even.
And
So they're
also,
just thinking about like, okay, we won this match. Okay, let's try to do our best here in playoffs, and meanwhile, let's try to focus on okay, which teams might we go up against and that kind of stuff.
I mean, they played Yoru in both of these games. I just want to put
Yeah.
that out there. This was a double Yoru matchup, and they have
That
been
already
playing
tells
Yoru
you
on
enough, to be
Fracture,
honest.
but yeah, I don't think they were taking it the most seriously, and I don't want that
Yeah.
to take away from Foot's win here. But
Yeah.
I think Na'Vi, they do have that experience. I think they will show that at Tokyo.
Yeah.
Whereas Foot, new team to the international stage. I hope they do well, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I honestly, for me, Navi, I don't know. When I saw them backstage, I don't know what it was, but they never really looked sharp. I wouldn't say like they look sick, but I had the feeling that some of the players didn't look like they were 100%. honestly.
Right.
Like just from the vibes. Like when I saw them walking backstage, like there was like they were barely even talking, you know, like most of them. They were just standing there and just looking to get on stage, which could be a stress thing or something, but it wasn't something I haven't like for example when we played Na'Vi, where we had Harmy as a sub, they looked different from there, just from how they stood there behind the scenes. So I have the feeling like I don't know if there was something going on. It looked like I don't know what it was. Maybe the stress. Maybe it was hot. I don't know. It just felt a bit off.
Yeah.
Could be a bad day in scrims, possibly. Who knows?
Who knows? But other than that, I do
They
think
got to Tokyo, so that's
they got to Tokyo. We're gonna talk about the groups later in this podcast because the groups got revealed. So we're gonna talk about that and who Na'Vi is gonna face in those group stage. But I do think that the fact that Foot won against Na'Vi was actually amazing, and I do think that Na'Vi might be mad that they are not skipping groups because I do think still it's a big benefit to skip the group stage at Tokyo.
Yeah, especially with how many good teams there are in those groups.
But I'm so happy that Foot made it to Tokyo and they actually made the top 3 in EMEA, which was surprising but great.
The good thing about this is like we get a whole new team. I believe this is the first time that a Turkish roster has like qualified for like the international.
I mean, super
SMB
massive.
qualified for Masters Berlin in 2020.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That is true.
That was when Izzy flopped. Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about
Why'd you have to phrase that so like harshly?
I mean, look. That was just like the takeaway you got from SMB. It was just like Izzy, he was not playing at all.
I mean,
was
just
like
overall,
a demon online, and then they turn up to LAN, and
that's the thing. Why I do think that Foot gonna be great at Tokyo, and it's like I don't know if it's a hot take, but they played good at lock-in. They pushed 100 Thieves. They won a map, like they won against RQ, then they pushed 100 Thieves. They could have won that match as well. So they know how it is to play in front of a crowd. And then they performed good throughout an entire season on LAN. Performed good in playoffs when it matters. So I would say this is maybe the first Turkish team which don't have the LAN jitters. They just looked good the entire season. There was like maybe they had one off day, okay, but they still looked like the third best team. Like seeing the ranking and putting them on the third spot in the EMEA in this league, it's totally legit. No one would argue that because they had a great season. I'm looking forward to them in Tokyo. Honestly, I'm very happy that they made it.
When you look at Foot's run, you can really compare it to EG in a way. In the off season, people saying, you know, those off season tournaments, Foot did not look good. I mean, they were just losing every match pretty much. But they come into the season, like you said, they had a good showing at lock-in. Same as EG, they won one game, narrowly lost another game, right? Then in the regular season, they play well, but Foot also made a small roster change. They put At Captain in.
Oh yeah.
And EG put Demon 1 in. Similar story there. And then they have a good season and they make it to Tokyo. Foot, I mean, I actually think they have pound for pound, like the individual players, they are the third best team in EMEA.
Yeah.
Maybe below Na'Vi, but some of these guys' aim and game sense are just incredible. Kiwi, obviously we know how good he is. At a captain, this guy's crazy. And oh my goodness, I don't know if it was just being there live in the venue, but the plays that Cracks makes on his KO are insane. They're insanely good.
He's insane.
His KO is demonic. So, like you said, I think they could do really well at Tokyo, and I hope they do. They've got a group that I'm gonna say, should get out of.
They have a chance. They have a good chance. They have a very good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, Foot, the best, and I wouldn't say the biggest surprise. I mean, I wouldn't say the biggest surprise, but a positive, like just a team where I was like, man, I didn't expect them to make top 3, top 4, and they deserve it. Like, I don't know, just a team. Yeah, for me, a positive surprise. On the other hand, we haven't really touched on those two teams, but what do you make out of Giants and Vitality falling short?
I was expecting it.
I'm sad about it, to be honest. I like the team.
Yeah, they were.
I think they have.
They were good
to work on.
Yeah, they were good, but they weren't ever. Oh no, a lot of people thought Vitality were going to make it at the start of the season, and Giants have some insanely good individual players with lots of experience, but I don't know. It's tough. They just didn't have. They couldn't push it when they needed to. They couldn't go to that next kind of level.
Yeah,
I know that's cliche to say, but they couldn't.
yeah.
Especially Giants.
I think this is literally the takeaway from this playoffs. Like we have 6 teams which were all good, and it was just a question which 4 teams can take the next step to reach that new level, and 4 teams clearly, or already. Like I mean, Navi and Fnatic, they always been at the spot, but like Liquid and Foot did take the step, while Vitality and Giants just looked exactly the same like they did in the regular split, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's just not enough to make top 4 and make it to Tokyo.
Yeah,
sadly.
Agreed. And speaking of that next step, Liquid, they went one step further.
Oh yeah.
They beat Foot 3-0 in the grand final. And
In the lower final. Yeah, lower final.
Sorry, in the lower final. Went to face that. I mean, this comeback was insane. Coming back from a 10-2 up to a 17-15. I mean, that is just ridiculous from them. And I think it kind of boomed for the rest of the third map as well. But they won that series and they went into the grand final to face Fnatic. Now, I wasn't there for this game live, but of course I watched it. And
Commend basically expected Fnatic to just win it.
Well,
no,
I mean, I don't think many people. I
mean, I didn't even expect this as well.
I don't think anybody expected Liquid to win.
Yeah.
They'd just been 2-0'd by Fnatic in the upper final. It was close, but it wasn't. It was a Fnatic kind of close. You never really thought Liquid were gonna go and take it.
Yeah, on the first and the upper, let me see.
It was an overtime on the first map, but then a 13-6 on bind, and it was just like, Fnatic are just too good. And in the grand final, I don't know, they didn't win it. Liquid took it 3-1, not even a 3-2.
Yeah.
And
honestly, it could have been a 3-0 if I'm on. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but the Lotus, I kind of felt like Liquid through that.
Yeah, it definitely could have been a 3-0. And Liquid in that map too as well denied that comeback on Ascent. Fnatic came from 12-5 down, back to 12-12, and Liquid won the 2 overtime rounds to win it. It really seemed like Liquid were on insane form. All of their players were popping off. I mean, Red Guy had something like 18 first kills or something.
Yeah, he's 18-8.
What is that?
SIGL and controller player. That's just so mental. And 41% headshot as well. This guy is fucking hitting shots.
He had an insanely good series.
Oh my god.
But I think they all did. All of the players of Liquid stepped up.
Yeah.
And Fnatic's coordination that day, it wasn't the same. I don't know. It wasn't the same. They got punished. I think Mini tweeted something out like, I'm glad we lost because we finally got punished for our mistakes, which that hasn't been happening in the regular season.
Yeah.
My estimations of this match was more like, for me, Fnatic, my estimations of them didn't go down that much, but for Liquid they went up a lot.
That's true.
So do you guys think that do you think Liquid have surpassed Fnatic now in terms of, are they better? Are they on the same level? Or are Fnatic still kind of edging them out on the top?
I'm going. I don't know. The thing for me is like, this might be just like a quick reality check for Fnatic, and they basically just dominate Tokyo, or it's just going to be
the downfall, the start of the downfall.
Yeah, downfall. I expected a dynasty, not this.
I mean, okay, to be fair, they played every match. Like, this was literally the first match since lock-in where it didn't look like the Fnatic dynasty. Where it was literally the first time they got challenged to a certain degree. I do still think Fnatic is better, but also I do think that Liquid didn't hit their peak yet. So I'm confident that we.
Okay.
I'm like not even capping, not even copium or like Liquid bias. Like, honestly, this team didn't hit their peak. I think the last 3 weeks we have seen what the peak could look like. The combination of like what was good about Gambit and what was good about like the old guild, like Safe brings in, and like the old Liquid. And now we finally see an a point of this iteration where all of those parts mesh together and they can like utilize all the different aspects of those teams. And we have seen it now for the first time really like show their true potential. And I do think if we can repeat this more often, then we can surpass them. The question is, will we do it? I hope so. I believe we can. But other than that, Fnatic still made this series extremely close on most of the maps. And I still believe that Fnatic gonna do great in Tokyo, honestly. If I talk as I was like with the team the entire playoff week, like every match, and the progression from day to day to day to day, I gotta say though, when we entered the venue on the championship day, on the grand final day, the mood was so good. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't say I expected to win, but I knew we're gonna make it damn close. I knew it. Like, they were like all vibing, no pressure, just chill. Where the Fnatic players weren't as chill as we have been. And when we came into Lotus, it was like a very close series, which we sadly lost. And then the players came back into the locker room, or like I don't know how we call that room, but we have a room where we can like talk and like the green room, yeah. So they came back and they were like, we should have won that. We should have won that. And then they knew, okay, we got to win Ascent. And then they went to Ascent and they won that map. And then I took a photo. I can't show it, but it will be shown in the documentary, which Liquid will release soon. But the players went out of the... I mean, it's a little like plug, but like the players came back from the stage, and I looked in their faces, and they were like so determined to like not win, but to kill Fnatic. Honestly, they were like, they just want. Now, honestly, I swear to God, they were so in the zone. Honestly, like it's a difference between like just wanting to win. They didn't just want to win; they wanted to do more. They wanted that trophy so much, and I do think that's pretty much the biggest difference for the day. Like Liquid really wanted that trophy. I'm not sure if Fnatic wanted it as much as we want, and the players were just fucking determined. They just wanted that win so badly, as you can see, like especially on Haven. Man, god damn, that was nasty. We saw the Nats kill their debut, but yeah. I don't know. I just, from the vibes and everything, I do feel this team was really hot on that day.
Mangovich, to be honest, you made me hype for that video.
It's going to be a great one. I mean, we have honestly, it's a documentary from the entire split to winning the EMEA Championship, which is a big progression because you're going to see exactly what happened from lock-in to now, which is a crazy period of time. And honestly, I think that's a good time to show the pictures I have from behind the scenes. On some you may see me crying, but I don't even care. So
we love seeing Bangovich cry. What do you think?
There's a traitor. That's a trophy. That's a trophy. So yeah, I took those. Those are, by the way, those high quality photos are credits to Liquid, but I took them at work, so they own them. But like, yeah, there's a trophy. That's me. Literally, you see me with tears in the eyes. You see it in the background.
No way.
Yeah, and like in the background, you see the trophy. It's like the interview.
I just like to imagine you just sitting over there at the corner, like taking a selfie. Meanwhile, the players are getting interviewed.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? I took photos, and I'm just gonna selfie myself in that moment. How I cry because, like, honestly, like, the reason I cried was, of course, this win like matters a lot for all the players and us, but even for the staff members to be around them for like 8 weeks and see the progression and what they've been through. It was honestly like I didn't know I'm gonna cry, but I was so happy for them, the progression for the 8 weeks, that I was like, damn, I'm so happy that like all of that paid off. Because they've been through so much shit, so much mental training to get to that point. Unbelievable. Also, I think like beating Fnatic felt very nice.
Yeah. What was that?
That's from
you gotta be happy for them.
Yeah. That's me!
Oh,
with the trophy.
Let's go.
No way, that's Yampy.
That's Yampy, yeah. That is where the analysts and people can, like, staff member can sit and hear the voice comms to the room. Also the ready room. And then here's me and Nats holding the trophy in the hallway. And this one is actually big. There's like this tower in front of the venue, and they lit it up in the colors of Liquid for winning, which is so cool. Insane. And there's another picture in the night where where we put the trophy. And as you can slightly see here, the trophy has like LEDs inside, so it glows in the dark.
That's so
Champions
cool.
didn't have that. That's why.
And that's me in front of the tower.
That's why the Dragons are season 1. Oh no!
But yeah, here you can slightly see that it's like glowing. But yeah, it's actually a glowing trophy. It's massive. It's heavy. Yeah. I got a cough.
Let him cough.
Yeah, so happy for the guys.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Now it's just Hukars who's got to win something, and then Commander's just he'll never experience it.
Don't you worry.
Oh,
The Gala
wait,
win. No, the
fuck.
Gala
Yeah,
winning
never
Ascension.
mind.
And then I'm gonna sign my team. Yeah.
What do you
yeah,
mean?
right.
Moist moguls will win it all.
yeah. Nice try.
Would be an
Alright.
amazing timeline, to be honest. I'll just say.
But yeah, I think.
I think that's EMEA wrapped
Yeah.
up. Now time for the much requested Pacific segment. We know a certain other podcast has not been focusing on them as much, which is fair enough.
Which is
All the
respectful,
matches
to be honest.
happen at like 5 a.m. their time.
Yeah.
It would just be ridiculous to try and watch everything. But luckily for us, we are
They
in
ain't
the right
robots.
time zones to kind of see everything.
Not for Tokyo, at least.
No.
Oh
No,
boy.
nope.
Nope. Maybe for me, but that's. I'll
Yeah,
keep my mouth
4
shut
a.m.
about that.
4 a.m. This first match to start for me.
If
but
you give me a new
good.
passport, I'm gonna fly with the team.
fuck.
I'm
honestly,
I
lucky.
will be gifting you a new passport. There you go.
I'm just gonna fly out there. I'm not even gonna get any tickets, and I'm just gonna go there so I can watch it at decent times.
No, if you go there, I could get your tickets, but
No, I'm
Let's
just
keep that
kidding.
stuff internally, guys. We may have plans now suddenly. Guys.
no. Okay.
But
But-
yeah, Pacific playoffs. They've happened. They were the first playoffs to finish, and well, I guess apart from China, but not really
I mean,
counting that. Yeah, without counting China, these were the first playoffs to finish, and an unexpected winner. But we will get to that.
I'll start
here
off
he
with this.
goes.
Like, I told you guys. I told you.
you did.
I am happy.
We'll
Well,
get to
anyways,
that.
let's
We will
start
get to
with
that.
the beginning.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
the
seven.
The two
beginning.
teams, well, 3 teams didn't make it, but the 2 teams that were knocked out in the first lower bracket round, Zeta Division and Team Secret. Both teams that I thought could have made it.
Yeah.
I actually think these were the most competitive playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because T1 versus Zeta Division. Oh my god. I don't know what the score was on Fracture. I can't remember. I think it was 10-9 on the last map.
My goat.
It was the last round Zeta won. The first what round is that? I can't quite see it. Is it round 20?
19 and 20 are those.
Yeah, it was 10-9 to Zeta Division. It was 10-9.
No, this was the match.
And
Oh,
and
no.
Carpe's in a 2v1 and Crow peeks out early while 10 is defusing the spike and they lose the round. And they go on to not win another round and they lose the series. I'm telling you, if Zeta win that round, I reckon they're in Tokyo right now. They completely threw it. They threw that match, which is really sad to say. And
Yeah.
I know some of the Zeta players got a lot of hate. Obviously, don't condone that at all. I don't know what their solution
Especially,
is. For...
like, I don't think the viewers know about this, but like the Japanese community can be like they are very respectful usually, but when they have enough, they have had enough, and they will absolutely barrage you. And unfortunately, that has happened for Crow, especially. I believe his name was on Twitter trending for like 12 hours,
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think it was.
and it was some disgusting comments.
Yeah. Obviously, just don't do
Yeah.
that. I mean,
He doesn't even had that bad of a series, honestly. Like,
No,
look, ban has minus 11, minus 4. Like, I mean, this is fine. Like,
Yeah.
his job is to provide assists and like utility.
And I think it was that one round where people were just like, "Why did you peak that?" That really kind of got to people because they were so close. This was an incredibly close series. T1 obviously won this, then beat Genji, went on to qualify. We'll talk about them. But
wait, okay, I gotta talk about this. Like, there is one part of this match where T1 kind of lost me. I believe it was Bind, where
when they played the
basically,
Gecko,
yeah, Carpe like popped his ult, and
he detained himself.
he detained himself, but but the Zeta Division didn't know that. So he
Yeah,
was
so they
just
didn't go in for the
holding over
retake.
there. Meanwhile, he was just detained, and it was the funniest shit I have seen, man.
It's like, yeah,
If they actually like heard or like actually saw that Carpe detained himself, they might have actually won that because they didn't want to play. They didn't want to push like lamps at all. because they
Yeah.
were scared that Carpe would just try to get them there.
What do you guys think the solution is for Zeta going into LCQ? Do you think they just keep the same roster?
I mean, like they can't really make any changes, to be
Oh yeah,
honest.
I forgot about that.
To me, it just
Mm.
feels like it's either Zeta Division are gonna make a miracle run in LCQ, or they just gotta wait till next year.
Yeah.
I do think that like coaching analyst stuff, like just adding an analyst or something could help them, because I do think that the players are good and they had
Yeah,
a
but like, don't
decent
they have
run.
Junior? I heard Junior is a pretty good like analytical coach.
Okay.
I think they used to have him. I don't know. Don't
Hmm.
know. They might still do. But yeah, if we're talking about a team that could make a miracle run through the LCQ, the other team who lost in the lower bracket, I think arguably has more of a chance. They beat Team Secret. They beat Zeta Division in the first round 2-0, then narrowly lost to the RX, and then narrowly lost to Gen G.
Yeah.
When this team has momentum behind them, I genuinely think they're one of the best teams in the Pacific League
Mhm.
overall. But I think it's
Yeah.
working on closing out these series, especially that one against Gen G. It was close. And yeah, throughout the whole season, they're the team that's. I know they had that run of poor form, but they managed to qualify and they did really well in these playoffs, even though they went out, they went 1-2. But I think they could honestly be some of the favorites for the LCQ.
Yeah, definitely do agree to an extent. I'm also confused as to why Lene was put in. Like, I believe it was the last map. Where no,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the last map
He played the
during the
Against
Gecko, didn't he?
T1 match.
in the T1 match.
No, no, wait,
No.
they didn't play T1.
Gen G.
Was it Gen G?
Yeah.
No, it was
Oh, no.
DRX versus DRX.
Wasn't
I
he yet
believe
on the
it was.
Yeah.
bind? They
Oh
subbed
yeah,
him
he.
in on the
Yeah.
Gecko.
That one was a bit of an like head scratcher. I liked that they gave Lene a chance to prove themselves, but
But in one of the most important maps
yeah,
of the entire season. Yeah.
it's
I,
unfortunate.
I mean, honestly, I'm not sold on this double duelist gecko combination comp on bind. Honestly, I don't know.
I'll be honest. You should probably not continue with Gecko. Gecko is just not.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because T1 played that Gecko comp as well, and in that lower final they actually beat DRX with it. But we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Team Secret was one of the favorites for the LCQ, especially if it's
Yeah.
that gauntlet style bracket. Especially if it's like that and they only have to win 2 games or so.
They're definitely
Um,
favorite for me as well. And they played an amazing season, honestly. Like, it's sad they
Yeah.
didn't make it, but on the other hand, other teams been slightly better.
And the team that was slightly better in that lower game
Yeah.
was Generation G, Generation of Gamers. I don't know if that's what it stands for.
I think it is actually.
They beat Team Secret and went on to face T1, where they lost. I don't know how to feel about this team.
Firstly, woo! Secondly, oh.
I
To
don't know
me,
how to
I'm
feel
like
about this
both
team.
sad and happy.
I think
I want both
King
teams to succeed.
King still has it.
Yeah.
He still completely has it. He's looked like, to be honest, like one of the best players in the whole league.
Yeah,
Like, I
Actually,
honestly.
it's
think if
pretty
he was-
questionable that Sylvan didn't play. That was an interesting.
Yeah, why are they still doing the 6-man thing? I don't know. Just pick one. Pick Sylvan.
Honestly, Genji
or
did the
Eco.
reverse Talon. They looked good and they looked worse week in, week, and did changes which didn't make sense, and Talon did the opposite. I don't know. I don't understand why they still do the 6-man thing, even though they didn't do it in this match against T1, which was close, 13-10, 13-10. But
I don't know.
yeah,
Meteor.
Yeah, but also like Sylvan keeps top fragging in the matches he plays. So I'm kind of like,
Sylvan's really good.
Sylvan is extremely good.
But he
Extremely
was a controller back in the day, not an initiator, which he's playing now. So that
Yeah.
may have influenced him. Might be the role. He's not comfortable. I don't know what it is. None of us are gonna know. But yeah, they look good against Secret, but it was close. It was very close, and they just weren't good enough to beat T1 that day.
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
had, I genuinely think if you had 5 players as good as King, maybe if you had King, Meteor. In fact, I like TS and Goddead. There's just something about
Yeah.
this team that the chemistry's not there. And I don't want these individual talents to not like flourish in the way that they could do.
Mm.
Because I still hold the opinion that pound for pound, I think individually the Gen G roster is better than T1. Maybe. Sire player is great. Carpe has proven to be really good as well, and Zeta is insane. All of them are improving on T1. But
Yeah.
Meteor, this guy was supposed to be, the next
Meteor
big
has
thing in
had solid
Pacific.
games and everything. He hasn't had pop-off moments, but he's had like solid games and he delivers. It's kind
Yeah.
of just the team itself that kind of
Yeah, I
can't
don't know.
close it out.
I don't know. They just were not destined to
Yeah.
go to Tokyo, I don't think.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
guess
the
what
thing.
did they go
LCQ run will be
five and
fun.
7 across the whole
Yeah, they went
split?
5-0 or something, and then 5-7, almost didn't make playoffs. Or like 5-4, 5-4.
They
Yeah,
were
five-
they were 4 and 5 in the
4-5,
regular season.
4-5, yeah.
Yeah, but counting those playoffs games, they're 5 and 7 across the season. And yeah, I don't think a team that went 5 and 7 across the whole season should really be going. So
No,
I guess
but
it's
they're
fair
still
enough.
top 4. I mean, that's an achievement for a team like going into
Yeah.
such a competitive region. 4 out of
Mm.
10. Would you guys consider Gen G as a favorite, like next to Team Secret?
I
For
actually think
LCQ?
Secret and Zeta are more likely to win it. I don't know,
Honestly, then there's
just haven't
RRQ
seen-
who looked very good. And, like even GE looked good. Honestly, the LCQ in Pacific gonna be fucking bonkers. Like that's gonna
apart
be
from that first game, Detonation focused me.
yeah.
It's just
But
gonna be Sleeper,
besides
probably.
besides that, all the other teams look so competitive. I cannot tell
Mm.
who is a favorite. I could see any of those teams besides DFM to make it through LCQ.
Yeah. It's so
Imagine
difficult.
if DFM suddenly make a fucking run.
I don't know,
can
man.
you imagine? Bro, that's gonna be my first million view video right there.
Can you imagine?
That would be insane. But it was T1 who managed to clinch that
Yeah.
last qualifying spot.
Yep.
I mean, we haven't really talked about the upper bracket yet. But we'll talk about T1 first. T1 they beat Gen G 2-0. What did they went 3-2 in these playoffs? With that lower
Yeah.
bracket run.
I mean, okay,
Eventually
wait. We
losing to
forgot about
DRX.
this. I mean, Zinfrey did win his first official match
What?
during
the
the
show
match.
match.
Yeah, the show
Oh.
match.
The show.
Come on, man. No, come on. Come on.
Come
Now
on.
is your time to
And
talk about T1.
They were playing 3 duelists.
Bro, you're
At
supposed to
get-go,
gloat to us about how you
Alman.
knew T1. You're supposed to gloat to us about how you knew
Yeah.
T1 were going to qualify.
Yeah.
This is your
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, I knew it. I knew it all along. I totally didn't huff and puff that copium. But yeah, I mean, like, just in general, they just kept improving every single time.
Yeah.
And that kind of like made me believe in this team. And personally, I didn't expect them to actually go to Tokyo. It was actually more like a joke for me at times. But I'm happy to see that they actually made it.
No, they actually improved.
So,
Like
yeah.
I think I've seen the match
Van
against
looks
Gen G.
so much better now.
Oh, I have seen the DRX T1 match, the lower bracket. Man, that was a banger, by the way, that match. Oh
Yep.
my god. 5 maps, and T1 gave it to DRX. It was such a banger
Carpe-
series. Oh my god.
Look at how many agents Carpe was playing. I mean, same
This
thing
guy-
with Zesh.
I actually think he is the most impressive
Thank you.
player turnaround since lock-in and the off-season.
Yeah.
He came in, obviously he's an esports veteran. We knew that. But when he was playing at the Red Bull home ground, he did not look comfortable at all. I remember there
Yeah.
being like multiple things, even on the broadcast of that event, where they
I
were
mean,
saying,
even still,
what's
he is
doing?"
kind of confused about some agents. Like, for example, the
Yeah,
Gecko.
but it's understandable, right?
Oh man.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
But
I mean,
his
wait,
performances-
he
Yeah, look-
owned on
look at that
Gecko.
performance on- Yeah, I mean, he's like, he looks so comfortable now on just in the game in general. He's putting up,
Yeah.
frags. The firepower's good. He's surely going to be good when he goes, on LAN. We didn't get to see T1 on LAN really after they just got boomed at lock-in by Furia.
And
where
Ludwig Tarek Invitational.
yeah, which they were a very young version of the team then.
Yeah.
So I think huge respect to T1 to be honest. Similar to Foot and EG, they got better over the course of the season
Yeah.
and managed to clinch that that third playoff spot. And also, I just want to shout out Zeta because he's IGLing for this team. I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
sure.
so hard to keep
Yeah.
up with who's IGLing what now. But
Wasn't
I'm
it?
thinking
I mean,
it was
oh,
Munchkin.
man.
It was
Then
Munchkin,
it
but I
was
swapped it. Yeah.
Munchkin.
Then it was Zeta, and now I think it's still Zeta. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm pretty
Um,
sure it is.
I'll have
But
to
assuming
ask.
it is, firepower is good, the IGLing's good, and they made it close against the DRX team, who also looks good.
Yeah. Also, I
yeah.
think that's a good point. Like to shout out Autumn, because I think this coach plays a big role in that, and people didn't give him the credits when he was successful with C9, and they didn't give it now with T1. But I think from looking like an average team in the Pacific
Also-
region to making it top 3, making Tokyo and look
Yeah.
goddamn good, pushing DRX to 5 maps. Respect.
Also,
Yep.
don't forget about Stunner, who was a player that who was like a coach who was very controversial at the start, because he was apparently banned from PUBG or something like that. So, but he has stayed with this team, and like there must be a reason why he stayed here because
Yeah.
like maybe he helped with this, I guess.
Hmm.
So
Maybe.
also shout out in general to their coaching staff, I guess then.
They did a great
Yeah.
job. And
Big
like
props.
just the fact that Carpe came from Overwatch and plays 5 agents in the best of 5 and still is one of the best players of the team is insane.
Yeah.
Autumn is like a strict coach, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just said, "Okay, all of these agents, you gotta learn them. Now here you go, go play officials with this. What do I do? You just do something."
And also, it's great to see, as a Guard fan myself, it's great to see side player back in form.
Yeah.
He's looking great.
Yep.
So
Bro
Props
always
to
wants
T1.
mention to
All
God.
right.
Ugh.
Let's talk about the other 2 teams who made it.
I'm molding. I am molding about DRX. They
I kind of
look like. I mean, I did actually say at the start of these playoffs when we did the pick'ems that PaperX were going to win them. But in that upper final, I mean,
Yeah.
DRX just looked. They looked flaccid.
My question is also, I mean, they played Foxy 1 there,
Foxy 9.
and then they didn't.
Foxy won.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took him out for the lower final and grand final.
I guess it had something to do with pressure.
Yeah, but if they take him out every time there's pressure on him, they're not gonna.
Then don't play him at all. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, like they've qualified to Tokyo at that point. If you're not gonna give your player that experience, they're not gonna improve in that environment, and then you're stuck. And then there was no point putting him in the first place. I feel like.
And wait, didn't he play the entire season? And then they just, from that moment on, they lost. The first loss they have, they just sub him out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But I mean, we don't know what's going on internally, I guess. But
Yeah.
from the outside, it looks odd. They managed to beat a T1 team. T1 looked good, but I don't think DRX should be making it that close. The tweets after the game from some of the players, especially Stacks, he just it was so yeah, GG, well played. Like, I don't know, there's nothing to say or something. Like, they were all tweeting stuff like that, and it seemed very odd.
I mean, that's just usual for DRX, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. Usually they're saying it's great to play against these players, etc. But I don't know. Is this second place finish? I mean, Bo's left
out.
voting. But are you worried about their run at Tokyo?
No, I'm not.
With the second place?
Honestly, we're going to talk about it in a second as well, but considering that they played the lower final a day before that, going to 5 maps and then play PaperX the very next day in another best of 5, going 5 maps, it's just brutal. I honestly do think if they had a time to recover, a day to focus on the next match, it would have looked different. Don't take anything away from Paper X. They won that and deserve to win the grand final. But I'm not that worried for DRX. Even though I still have the same worries I did have before lock-in and all the time before, that are they really a team which can win an international trophy? I do think they are always good enough to make a top 3 run. But will they beat a team like Fnatic or Loud in the grand final? I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think they should start Foxy9 at Tokyo? Or do you think it should be Zest?
Honestly, I wouldn't say they need to start him, but they need to decide either they're going to start him all the time or they don't. I don't think
agreed.
that this swapping, like it's not a player for player replacement, right? Like Foxy9 plays in duelists and Zest is more flexible. And I do think they have to decide what they want from the team and how they want to implement Foxy9. And yeah, they needed a decision now because like just subbing him out after they lost one best of 3 and like let Zest play, who didn't play the entire season, feels odd. And if it's a pressure thing, then give Foxy9 more time and don't play him. But I don't even think it's a pressure thing because he played pretty good the entire split. I don't know why now the pressure should be different.
Yeah, agreed. Especially when they've already qualified to Tokyo. That part was a bit confusing to me. But let's talk about the team that managed to take DRX down twice in these playoffs. Twice. The first time it was a dominant 2-0 win from Paper X. DRX won like 11 rounds across both maps, which is pretty insane. I don't think we've ever really seen that in any match DRX has ever played in like a domestic competition. And then the grand final was much closer, all 5 maps, but Paper X still managed to win it. In the reverse sweep as well, I think that's what's so impressive. They lose the 16-14 on Ascent, really tense match, and then they managed to win the next 3 to win it out. Okay, can Paper X, with this win, Bo's back, let's ask him. Bo.
Yeah.
Can Paper X win Tokyo?
Yeah.
Will they
I could
win
look-
Tokyo?
No.
I love it. I love it.
I love
Just
that.
coming with the simple answers here. I got a feeling this might be DRX's tournament. Again,
We were just talking about how this isn't going to be DRX's tournament.
Yeah.
So
this is gonna be DRX's tournament. I know it. I got that feeling.
we were just saying about how if they can't decide now what their starting 5 is going to be, then the place like Buzz is having to switch between playing Duelist and Sentinel. That's not easy. Whenever they sub Foxy9 in, if they, depending on who they play, if they just play their starting 5, surely they've lost that on months of practice time. And they're going to be relying on old stuff. I don't know. It doesn't fill me with huge confidence, the fact that Foxy9 sub out. I think there's a reason why Paper X are still the team to go furthest in an international tournament from Asia.
Yeah.
Because they second in Masters Copenhagen.
True.
But I think with this roster they can do it. And
Yeah.
I mean, they turned their season around completely.
Yeah.
Something came in. He looked.
I mean, you also got to remember, Something used to compete in VCL Japan. It would make sense for him to win Tokyo.
Oh, okay. Okay, I see it. Except that makes no sense.
Yeah, what the
Come
Why would that make sense? He's not playing.
Think about
it.
The lore.
The lore.
The Valorant lore.
I think what Paper X bring to Valorant is something truly special. The fact that they can bring out Reyna Raze on Bind and beat DRX with it.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I actually got to add this. I think one of the more difficult things is not seeing Benkai. That's my kind of. I miss him.
I do miss him too.
Yeah, we're gonna miss his walkouts, I think. But
yeah, and just overall his personality. I hope he's on the analyst desk at least, or is gonna play some matches here and there.
I think he'll be on the analyst desk because he was he was really good at it when he did it in.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you read that Forsaken is IGLing?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that is a little bit of a surprise.
From all the
Watching
names
their
on that team, that's like the last name. Not
Mm.
like not disrespectfully, but he's like the correct aimer
Yeah.
of the team, and now he's the IGL, which is like, what is happening?
I mean, watching their comms videos, it seems like a lot of people are throwing ideas in, but I imagine he's the one who kind of decides on, this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think when the confidence is flowing, like it was in these playoffs, that system works really, really well. We've seen it on Liquid as well. When the confidence is flowing, you've got Liquid, sorry, not Liquid, you've got Redgar and Safe who can come
Yeah.
together, combine their ideas, IGLing, and work their way through. I don't know what it will be like if they, let's say, lose their first match at Tokyo in the playoffs. They
Yeah.
might be playing against, I don't know, an NRG or a Na'Vi or even a DRX. If they lose to like a DRX in the first round of playoffs, I worry for them. But they have, it's weird, they have so much firepower on
Yeah.
this team that it's like they can just beat anyone if they're playing, if they're in form. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter. They would just win.
Yeah.
And that is what I think is so explosive about this team and so exciting about this team is how you feel they can just win any game. And they do it in exciting ways. They're fun to watch. I think it would be amazing if they won Tokyo.
Would it be also like some sort of crazy redemption arc from like the Copenhagen? Was it Copenhagen where they lost to Navi, like FPX back then? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
In
then
the
afterwards,
closest
and then they fell
final.
short kind of in every other tournament after that, and like lock in, they lost to Cloud9 from the get go, and like, and now they're back in the same madness fashion, W Key, W Gang, which I totally love. And honestly,
W-Gang.
thinking about it, it makes total sense that Forsaken is good IGLing that roster because he is someone who is thriving in that chaos environment, and he exactly knows what to call probably in those situations, right? Because he likes playing in those situations. So I think it makes a lot of sense. But I have one concern, not concern, but I do think that EMEA teams are used to play against hyper aggressive, super aim heavy teams because we have like the Turkish teams here, which are all mental. And I wonder how Paper X will perform against teams who are used to play against hyper aggressive teams. Because I doubt that there are that many great teams to scrim against in the Pacific region who can like really out aim you to a degree like Paper X. And
Yeah.
I think that's definitely like a bonus they had going through that bracket, just being just insane on the aim and like no one really being able to practice against such style.
I agree. And you definitely saw it in that match in Copenhagen. They 2-0, I can't remember if it was 2-0, but I think they 2-0'd Fnatic. They beat Optic, and everybody was thinking, okay, this team's got it.
Yeah.
But as soon as they came up against that EMEA style of, because Fnatic are quite tactics heavy, but
Yeah.
the way FPX and Na'Vi play is so slow that they were able to kind of absorb that aggression, and they still made it really close. That's what's
Yeah.
promising about this team. I would love to see them win Tokyo.
Honestly,
I think it would
yes.
be, like you said, the redemption arc, the storyline, it would close it really well. I think it would be amazing.
Also, I want to add, like, because maybe it comes out in a different way than I meant it, but like Paper X is not just aim, right? They play also very nice with like their abilities, their utility usage, the way they execute and everything. It's well done. Like this is actually like, more than just like we aim, right? It's like actually nice execute, nice retakes. They do more than just aim. Like it's a very team which has everything they need. And it's just a question if they can, be consistent with it in Tokyo. But they skipping the group stage. They're directly in playoffs. Less games, less to show, more time to rest.
And it's like you said before, Bangovic, they've done it in their own way. So many people, like especially after champs, were saying, and Lock-in were saying, this team, they need to slow down. They need to really, iron out. They still can have that aggressiveness.
That
but
is true.
Stop overpeaking, stop doing this. But they signed something who is arguably the opposite philosophy of that and just completely went for it.
Speaking of something, I got something in my eye. Wait 1 second. I'll be right back.
Oh man.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, something looks insane. Yeah, when you watch this guy play, he just hits shots that are just ridiculous.
Yeah. He probably
and
is
with
the best
Jane-
aimer right now in the game.
Yeah, in the whole world. I'd
Yeah.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Crazy. Deserved,
Okay.
honestly, deserved dub from Paper X and just generally amazing. I'm
Yeah.
happy that they made it as the first seed.
Yeah, definitely. Me too. Okay. The final, I mean, we say final, this is going to take quite a while though. I think for the podcast today is that the Tokyo groups have been revealed about an hour before we start recording. And that means that pick'ems are available to do, which is what we're going to be doing as well.
Yes, sir.
So, the groups are. Have we got?
Open it.
Yeah, we got the.
I got it. Boom.
Boom. Here we go. So, Group A is the first match is NRG versus Na'Vi, which is crazy.
That is
And
crazy
Edward Gaming
storyline.
and T1, who I'd say are kind of dark horses here. So we'll have to see there. And the Group B is DRX and ASE from China, and Foot versus Evil Geniuses, which is arguably a weaker group overall, but will still be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know how DRX have frauded their way to an easy group again, but somehow they've done it.
Yeah,
So,
honestly.
yeah, I mean, I feel like we'll talk about these groups while we do the pick'ems. I feel.
Yeah.
Um,
Shall we start with Group
so-
A? Or
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
and we just start right with the biggest banger of. I mean, honestly, this is such an amazing matchup. Energy versus Navi, Artis versus his old team, Optic versus FPX. Like, this has so much heritage, this match. And I don't know. Like, I don't know who's gonna win that. Both for you, we're now at the pick'ems for Tokyo.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
You're right.
Yeah, Energy versus Navi, man. I don't know. Honestly, for me, it's so hard to judge who will win that.
I think you're right, bro.
I think he is.
I don't know what he's cooking.
Sorry, it's just my siblings fighting. All good.
Oh, all right. I think Navi will win this match because Xiao is the goat.
True.
They have Sugotsu.
That's how
No,
it works.
Like,
And now
and
his
his
light
lights
is
turn
off. That's hilarious.
This guy can't catch a break.
Nah,
Um,
his life hates him. Aw.
No, but I think Navi
Tough
will win this match. I think Navi will come in with newly prepped comps. NRG are very prep heavy.
Yeah.
I don't think Navi will be playing the Yoru. I hope they're not playing the Yoru.
I mean, think about it. Navi got 4 of the previous winners of Masters. NRG only got 1.
What? Yeah, but they've also got CNED who won champs, and NRG
Also
have NRG have 3
Hey.
Masters winners as well.
Yeah.
From Optic.
Yeah, but like you got to remember.
Really, a better argument would be
did
to
Sam
say
win a land? Did Sam win a land?
yeah. The better argument would be to say Navi have 5 title winners and NRG only has 4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. True.
But I think Navi will win it based on that prep element, and NRG always lose the first match. That or Optic, I guess.
I mean,
So-
that is actually
True.
true.
Even at Lock-in, they had a slow start. So
Yeah.
my pred is Navi.
Against Koi, who couldn't win a map in the. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Don't want to hate on Koi. That's another issue. But I do think it is fair to say let's give Navi the edge on the opening match. I do still think Energy will probably go through the lower bracket, but EG versus T1.
EDG. Yeah.
EDG.
EDG. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going EDG.
Honestly, Kankan diff, bro. I'm gonna go with EDG as well. I love EDG.
I know. I love both. That's
I
my
think the
problem.
land jitters will get to T1.
The land jitters will get to T1.
Think about it. Okay, to be fair, all of their players have been to a
Hard
LAN,
bait.
apart from Ban.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe Sire player will get he'll get PTSD from Reykjavik going 0-2.
Honestly, it's so difficult.
No, I just
I'm
think
going with
Kankang will-
T1. I'm going with T1.
You know
Yes,
what?
Well, you're outnumbered, I think.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I
Unless
have to
you're
think.
not.
I have to think. You know what? I do think that T1 gained so much experience through that split against tough opponents, while EDG is just playing against ASE and some cuckoo shit. No disrespect, but
Us.
this. I don't know. I still wait for EDG's first win in an international land, and I'm sure they're capable. No, honestly, I go with EDG just because I want that. But then T1 is in a lower bracket. Honestly, it's I'm like on with Bo on this one. I'm like so 50-50 on those. I like both teams, but I just want to see Kankan smile.
I mean, the problem is, basically, whoever loses that game, we're going to pred to go 0-2. So, because I mean, maybe you're predding T1 over NRG. I'm not. So,
no.
Yeah, but I'd go with EG
I
there.
hate you guys.
In that winners, Navi versus Edward Gaming, I mean, you obviously have to go with Edward Gaming. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, let's just put Navi in there. It's
we jinxed Navi.
Yeah, we're gonna jinx it. We're gonna jinx it.
I actually think it will be really close.
Hopefully.
NRG versus T1. I'm going NRG. They got too much experience for that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I love T1.
I would like to see a T1 run, but
yeah.
Okay. Honestly,
they did a lower bracket run, so
the thing is with both EDG or T1, I don't see them win this matchup. Doesn't matter if it's like Energy or Navi. It doesn't matter for me. Like I'm super confident in whoever loses the opening match here will win the first lower bracket one, and then it doesn't matter. Like I don't know. I just believe in a lower bracket run from either of those two teams more than I do in those two.
Yeah. I mean, to see an EDG upset.
Don't get me wrong. I would be happy for EDG and T1 making it out of this group. Honestly, I don't care. It would be fucking sick if they make it. But on the other hand,
upset vibes.
I think Edward Gaming. I'm not predding them here, but this is for the record. So when they win, I can post this clip on Twitter, and everybody will know I was right. Edward Gaming are winning this match against NRG. They will make it. I
would like to agree with that comment. Yes, I just wanted more clout. That's all.
No, we clipped the clip before you said it.
Okay.
So I am going to pred. Well, I think Edward Gaming are going to take it if this matchup happens in this specific
Energy.
I actually would like to agree.
Okay, free guys, let's go. Bye Energy.
What have we done, Command? What have we done?
Oh, that's mad.
Man, honestly, I would be happy if Doom Bros makes it. That's all I can say about Navi. And EDG, honestly, Kankan diff.
I think Navi are more likely to get out of this group than NRG.
Get out or get, like you mean qualify for playoffs?
Through.
Get through, yeah.
Actually, that's just cap. Sorry, that is complete cap, but I'm keeping my preferred for Edward Gaming.
Yeah. Same here.
I think it's juicy. Let's lock them in. Congrats, Navi and EDG. You have been jinxed.
Yeah.
All right.
Next up. Okay, this is
I am, for whatever reason, we have to read out the last team here because I can't scroll any further.
I mean, for me, for whatever reason, I think this might be the easiest bracket for DRX.
How have they frauded their way into this?
Honestly, I wanted a fucking group of dev of like Energy, Navi, DRX, and I don't know, EDG. That would be sick. Instead, we got DRX, ASE, Foot, Evil Genius, who are not bad teams, but then it's not a group of dev.
It's so...
It should have like switched places between like NRG and EG.
Yeah. DRX versus... what is it's actually ASE, right? Attacking Souls?
Yeah, Attacking Soul Esports.
I just like calling them AS.
Yeah.
Which is not how it's pronounced, by the way.
Honestly, I don't know. It doesn't matter how much copium you're sniffing. There's no world you could argue that DRX is losing against them. Like I don't see no.
I mean, think about it.
I did.
Got a player like come on.
Yeah.
It's such a good player.
Yeah.
No, I think DRX win that every day. And also, I think Foot beat the crippled Evil Geniuses. Every week as well.
But that's the thing. Honestly, if Demon 1 would play, this would have been such a sick banger. Like, it would be Kiwi against Demon 1. And then, like this, I want them to see. I want them on
Ascent.
Ascent.
They have just debated us the entire time.
No, I don't think so.
No,
and Demon 1 actually goes. That would be funny.
It would be funny, but I don't.
Would be funny, but have you seen him in the grand finals? And
exactly.
Man, he's not going, bro. You cannot act like this. Like, in terms of like acting skills, he was like literally like devastated, got it. Yeah, but
Okay,
yeah, with the
I'm gonna-
weekend.
Okay, I'm gonna propose something.
Oh no.
Click these teams, and then you can discuss it. Okay, so I want you to click in the DRX vs Foot game. I want you to click Foot. No, just click it. Just click it, and then we can argue. Then in the ASE Evil Geniuses game, I want you to click ASE, and then I want you to click ASE again. This is what will happen. this is what will happen. I'm telling you, DRX. This is the first time they will not make it out of groups. No, actually, they didn't make it out of groups in Champs 2021. But this is what will happen. He's not called Life for no reason. He will have a life game.
Can we kick Commend?
That is cooked. Oh my
Bro,
god.
Bro, usually I'm the one who's cooking, but this goes too far.
I'm telling you, we're gonna have both Chinese teams in the playoffs.
You've overspiced the food. It's too spicy.
It's happening. It's happening.
It's
happening.
too spicy.
Watch. You can watch. You can stare into Stax's eyes as he walks off the stage after losing to. You can stare into his eyes, okay, and you can say, "Commend was right." Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is not happening.
Yeah,
Oh
you're
my.
cooking too much, mate.
Yeah.
Mate, please just.
Like honestly,
DRX win.
yeah, DRX locked, and I think those two. This is actually the point where I have no idea. Like,
Loki, I could see EG winning against us.
oh yeah, true. That's it.
I don't got much hope for us, to be honest.
They have beaten Edward Gaming twice in the past.
Yeah, but was
Like
that on
month.
LAN? And we know that Life hasn't performed at all on LAN. That's why he was like replaced by Smoggy.
No, wasn't he ill?
Yeah, but like his first official, that also he bombed.
Yeah, but he was ill though, wasn't he?
Yeah, but like when he got better, he played one official, and then he was.
This groups is
Yeah,
really this is really up for the grabs. Like I don't know, any of those three teams, Foot, EG, and ASE is like,
I forgot about Muggle being on this team.
oh my god. Honestly, man, I want ASE to qualify so Liquid is qualified for champions.
I want that too, but also it's not happening. I feel like Foot will win it.
Yeah, honestly, I like just for, okay, based on what we've seen and considering the fact that EG is playing with a sub and ASE has not a strong region in terms of like bragging and stuff, I must favor Foot. It's just a favorism thing. It's like a bit boring. I understand this, but on the other hand, like with anything, like there's not much data to base ASE on winning this, honestly.
Yeah, I think it makes sense to go for Foot. I just checked the VLR page for the grand final of Tokyo, and somebody commented their prediction of ASE 3-2 over Loud in the grand final. Can you imagine if that happened? Oh my goodness, that would be incredible.
Don't get me wrong. I hope a Chinese team is making a deep run. Honestly,
It would be really cool, and I think if it's either of them, it'll be Edward Gaming.
I mean, my prediction is
but-
way better, to be honest. But
what is yours? Come.
He's gonna say
just,
T1.
just look on VLR.
Oh,
Oh no. Okay.
what?
Will
Did
I
you put
re-
it in the grand final one?
Perhaps.
Okay. He paused.
No, no.
I'm just gonna respond and say, I don't know that team. Do they even exist?
But yeah. Other than Hukar's making
Indeed.
grand final in Tokyo.
Wait, you don't have a check mark? Ha! Let's go.
That guy.
I
I think that's fair. I do think that EG with Demon 1 would have a high likelihood of making it out of that group without, I don't know, slightly less of hope. For the Group A, who? Okay, are you sure that, like, I mean, honestly, I could see a world where actually, like, T1 or EDG is making it out for real. I mean, we've predded EDG.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. But I could also see
I would
Navi.
love to
I-
see it, but also I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh man.
I do think that one of the giants, like Energy or Navi, is gonna get grouped. That's my pred. One of those two will be grouped.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't
it'll
think
be
that
really close, but I don't think they will.
I don't think that both Na'Vi and EDG will make it. Na'Vi and Energy are making it through. I do think that one of them gets grouped.
To be honest, I
Mm.
kind of want NRG and Navi to get through, because then the playoffs
Oh
will
my
be
god,
the
yeah.
most like competitive playoffs we've ever seen. Can you
True.
imagine? Loud, Liquid, Fnatic, PaperX, NRG, Navi, DRX, and like Foot or ASE or whoever. Can you imagine that? That would just
Yeah.
be insane.
Like quite literally, this is the
Don't
most
worry, there
stacked
is some
tournament
team who's
ever.
gonna ruin it for us.
Yep.
I do
Um,
think though that this
I
is
don't
the
know, we'll
most
see.
stacked tournament with the highest quality of game play we've ever seen, in a way, because like all those teams went through insanely competitive splits, made it to the top 3 or the top 4 of their region, and are now at Tokyo. And I think this is gonna be an amazing tournament for everyone involved. Like that's gonna be crazy. Also, I like the format. We have double elimination brackets in the group stage and playoffs. That's nice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I think single LM playoffs could work, but
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm very excited for Tokyo, even if it's going to be an early mornings every morning for all of us.
Yeah.
We should just like jump in a voice call just every single morning,
At
like
4 a.m.
totally broken. Like, good morning.
I have literally to do the match coverage for Liquid, right? So I have to get up when we
Oh,
play at
shit.
5.
I don't know if I can keep you company. I've got exams during that period. I
That
want to
is
get some sleep.
Crazy.
I mean, I
That is
get paid for
crazy.
doing it, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, very true. I don't. So I'll be there. I will be there.
I'm jobless too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
That's why
Um,
Bankovic is in the middle.
Only one with a job. That's true.
He's the dad.
I mean, Command is doing YouTube, right? And Bo, you're studying, so it's not like you have like you're doing good things.
I mean,
guys.
like, I'm graduating soon, mate. I'm gonna be homeless in a bit.
Homeless.
Okay, not
Nah,
homeless.
nah, you got this. You got this. I'm proud of you, my sons. I'm kidding.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
But yeah, I
All
think
right.
we got it.
I think that's
got
everything
everything.
for
Yeah.
today. I'm so excited for Tokyo. It's going to be a banging tournament, like we were saying.
Yeah, and also, like, people have been complaining about the time. Just watch the VOD.
I mean, that is like
I think they're also gonna do like rebroadcasts
Yeah, sure.
they will, yeah.
because they
Yeah.
did the same like last year for the other regions.
But also, I mean, people are complaining about the time, but like, that's how Pacific fans feel when there's a tournament
Aussies rejoice.
in
Yeah.
EMEA. It's not. I don't
Yeah.
blame them at all.
Honestly, I do
Um,
think only the 5 o'clock game in Europe is an issue. Everything else is like 7 for UK, 8 for
Yeah.
Germany,
Yeah,
and then like
which
it's
isn't too
10 or
bad.
11, and then there are some tag pauses because it's a Riot event, and then it's like
Of course.
you see, like it's okay. We got this.
What's
Yeah.
up with our esports? We have problems with visas, problems with technical pauses. Like, come on, man.
Look, but overall,
No,
it's not too
overall,
bad, is it?
yeah,
It's
overall
not
it
too
is
bad.
Yeah.
It is.
Look, it's better than League, whatever the hell is going on over there.
Oh
God.
my
Oh,
god!
boy.
Okay, before we do
Um,
that, let's end this.
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Rendezvous. We've had fun. I hope you have too. And
Hopefully,
we'll see
Bankovic
you.
puts this on Spotify.
Yes, hopefully. We'll see you very soon. And thank you for watching.
He's just
Bye.
leaving.
Bye bye.
All right,
See ya.
bye.